think of the passion, God love everlasting. Keep the law of the land and book in case you're asking. Moving forward to the learning and it's free, cause I know that God know the combo go with Sister E. Love talk Sister E, God work Sister E, charity Sister E, let's talk with Sister E. All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we going deep. Love talk Sister E, God's work Sister E, charity Sister E, let's talk with Sister E.
Hello, good people. Me and Rio together right now. I'm doing this live and he's sitting next to me because Rio is in timeout, y'all. Rio is cutting up this morning. He woke up on bull. That's the best way I can put it right now. He woke up on it. He woke up wreaking havoc. I mean, he didn't. Oh Lord! It ended with me letting him outside. First, he was sick. Now he back to normal. And I heard my mom scream, "No, Rio!" Rio is in the backyard trying to hump my mom's 11-year-old Shih Tzu. I said, "Oh my God! Oh my goodness! Humping my mom's 11-year-old Shih Tzu. This girl is old, honey." I had to go get him. I was like, Rio, I had to put him in his cage, y'all. He had to go. He ain't been in his cage for a good little minute. He had to go in his cage. Oh my goodness, y'all. Rio, and then looked at me like I was crazy because I'm yelling at him. Put him in the cage. I said, oh my God. I ain't even had no caffeine this morning. I had to go get me some caffeine this morning because I said, I won't be able to do this live if you're not locked in the room with me. So I'm in the room that me and my daughter have hijacked and made it into a studio room. She got her stuff set up because she getting ready to start doing some DJing. But she doing pretty good with it now. She finna give me some stuff. I told her, I said, I need you to give me some stuff going. So she got her little DJ set up. She got what is this? A Sorrento DJ Phillips something. I don't know what it is, but her whole little kit with the little digital turntables on the side, and buttons in the middle, knobs at the top. She doing her thing, y'all. She doing her thing. So she got her set up, and then on the other side of the table, because my mom has a long dining table, I have my little stuff. I'm using her laptop. My laptop is supposed to be delivered today, y'all. I'm leaving the world of Apple. And I decided to get an HP. I found a good one. I got all y'all suggestions, and and I can flip it and make it into a tablet. I love it. When I saw it, I said, okay, I might have to leave Apple for a little bit. It's a 2-in-1. Pastor Kelly was the one that hit me to it. He was like, sis, you need to come out of the Apple world. I was like, okay. So he gave me some okay. Actria Phillips, I'm gonna tell her congratulations. You saying Madison? Tell her congratulations. But yeah, Pastor Kelly was like, let it go, let the Apple go. So here, like I said, him and Benaiah, they don't have Apple devices. They got PCs. And I'm like, y'all doing all this digital stuff. I know. Apple is just overpriced. Apple is definitely overpriced. So I said, yeah, I got to give me a good antivirus software. I heard that with them. I got to get, hey, brother, was it you do it anymore? He does the funniest, I think animation where you did with me, Brian, and the guy from Sakari that left. Y'all, it was so funny. That was so funny. Do some more and send it to me so I can laugh. I love them. Y'all go. Is that you who did that? Make sure if you say yes, if that was you, drop it in the link so people can see it. But but yeah, I'm leaving the dark side. I'm leaving the dark side. I was kind of jealous because Benaiah and Pastor Kelly had all they little set up, and it was flipping the tablets over and writing and then flipping the tablets over and drop it in the link. But flipping the tablet back over, turning it back into a PC, and here it is with my clunky MacBook. I said, yes, I am going to change. So mine can flip to a tablet now. So next time we out doing something, I'm not looking like I'm carrying this dinosaur of a MacBook. Well, it's a nice MacBook I had, but yes, I just left the dark side. So I have a 2-in-1 NV HP 32 gigabyte RAM, 2 terabytes of storage, and Intel. It's the new core. I think it's i7 core, Intel core processor. So it's supposed to be like running. And when I looked online and looked at, I really was trying to get 64 because I was talking to Pastor Kelly. He said 64 is good. I was like, I don't need that much. I don't do as much as y'all. But he said you can grow with your laptop. I was like, no, I'm gonna want something new in the next 2 years. I know me. So I ended up getting, and it was much. Man, y'all, that was I caught it right. I told y'all don't talk about Christmas, but I'm finna catch them sales. I might not believe in the pagan day. Um, but I'm gonna utilize them sales that they got. So I was able to get one, y'all, under $1,000. Under $1,000. And I caught it on sale. And me and guy Best Buy, he was like, I use this he does molecule design, 3D designs. So hold on, where's Rio? Again, he escaped out of the room. Hold on, y'all. Oh, there you go. Okay. He got tired of me. He went into the kitchen. But he does 3D designs. Something, and he said he only has 16 gigabytes with his laptop, and it runs good. So I got me a new one. I'm just waiting for it to be delivered here. Once it's delivered, I go ahead and get everything set up. But today has been a day. Rio has been in rare form. I finally got the laptop. I'm using Madison's laptop, and the only reason I can really use her laptop because she gone. She left with her friends. Hey everybody. I see people say hey sister, but she left with her not her cousins, so they out and they hanging out. So while she is out, thank you, brother Jugent. I hope I'm saying it right, Jugent, for your super chat for $20. Thank you. Y'all go check out that video. Drop the link in here. That video is so hilarious. So yeah. So y'all, I was able to confiscate her laptop for a little bit and say, you know what? I need to talk about the events. Y'all know I've been watching the news and I just been like, oh, I need my laptop. Y'all, so much is going on. Have y'all heard about the MAGA civil war going on right now on Twitter? Give me a yes or a no if y'all heard about the MAGA civil war. It's ridiculous right now. And we'll run some videos on it. And I have to do my disclaimer. I get so sick of doing this disclaimer, y'all. One thing I will know that when Republicans do get in office, even though it's going to be a mess this year, they will at least ease up on some of these restrictions as far as being able to say stuff online. Because the Democrats, they just, oh my gosh, I'm sick of both of them, being honest. But for those who don't know what the MAGA civil war is going on right now. So the two people that Trump assigned to his cabinet, which is Elon Musk and Vivek, I forgot Vivek's last name, they are now trying to debate on how they're going to handle this whole situation with immigration. So, you know, they ready to send the brown people out of here. They tired. They like the brown people got to go, but a certain brown people can stay. Think about where Vivek came from. Vivek is Indian. So Vivek is trying to ensure that he keeps Ruhama says she listening in, but Vivek try to make sure he keeps his people tight. You know, Vivek is Indian. They're saying they want to keep the individuals with the H-1B visa. I think it's HB1, H-1B. I can't remember. Visas here. And let me pull it up because I'm just talking. Hold on. So H-1B. Yep, H-1B. So Ramesh Wama and Musk are sparking a debate over the H-1B visas. And here's what you need to know about it. So the billionaire Elon Musk and Vivek are advising President-elect Trump on, and I'm reading an article right now. Let me share my screen because I'm going straight in. Let me share my screen for some of those. Okay, I'll make sure to talk about the weather that's supposed to be impacting half the country, which this weather stuff is only going to get worse throughout time. So millionaire Elon Musk and Vivek may be advising President Trump on cutting federal spending, but they also have advice for him about the U.S. workforce, urging his next administration to bring in more foreign tech workers. Now, keep in mind, it's not the skill set. They keep throwing up skill set. They keep saying skill set. I've worked with Indian counterparts for years since I've been in the tech industry. I'm gonna be honest, they're no smarter than the ones that are graduating from University of Texas or University of Knoxville or University of Memphis. They still have the same knowledge. The thing is about when you bring in Indians in the tech industry, one, let's call out, they're not going to fight as much or push back on leadership as much. Like, great example, when Twitter was pushing back on Elon, and Elon ended up having to lay people off for when he got X, or what we call Twitter. It was more of the U.S. employees. The H-1B employees would not push back because guess what? If they lose their visa, they got to leave the country. So they're going to be less amped to push back on leadership. They're going to do exactly what they asked for because they want to remain in the country. So they're more conducive to whatever changes they make. Whereas U.S. citizens is like, no, we're not doing this. So that's one thing about them. Two, you can pay them a lot less. And I know this for a fact. This is why they do a lot of offshore. And also they bring in more. Their salary requirements are a little less than our salary requirements because we're looking at the fact that we're U.S. citizens. You're supposed to pay us. Again, these visas are more valuable to them than sometimes the pay because guess what happened? They all live in the same houses. They save money and they buy their own businesses and franchises. That's why you're seeing them own a bunch of McDonald's and Burger Kings and Subways because guess what? We don't have to. Their value lies within that visa. And as they're getting their visa, they're working on their citizenship. Some of them are. So that's the thing that they want. They're not looking, and they're lying, saying they're more, how can I say, they're smarter when it comes to the tech industry. That is an entire lie because I have seen numerous times when we do offshore work, the U.S. employees have to go back and make changes and fix things that they broke. And we're sitting here saying, y'all spending all this money for y'all to do this. And I'm not knocking them, but what I'm saying is they're no smarter than the next person that goes to these universities here in the U.S. But what happens is cheap labor. I can offshore this. And where I would pay you, let me tell you how much of a big difference in salary it is with Indian employees offshoring, because that's what they really want to do, than it is U.S. A job, let's say a IT director working in the U.S. would say your salary is $175,000, maybe $200,000. If you offshore those directors in India, guess what that salary is? $13,000 a year. That's the business right there. So I'm going to push And then guess what? If I bring people into the US to take these jobs, guess what? When I'm paying you $200,000 a year, I can probably pay them the bottom band. We want to come in at the middle, at least in the middle, because they give you a pay band when you're coming into a job. In some cases, we're gonna go to the far end of the spectrum with that pay band, and they'll say the job will range from 100,000 to $200,000 a year. That's a whole lot. What they want you to do is come in on that $200, $100,000 pay band at the very bottom, rather than come in. Nope, I don't want 100. I need 150. The middle of that pay band. They want you to come in at the bottom. Guess what? Most Indian employees are going to push towards. Like I said, that visa has more value than anything. So, and guess what? I'm sending money to my family in India. And guess what? As five of us living in a place, guess what? I don't need $200,000 to sustain. All of us gonna cover rent. All of us gonna cover food. They don't. I mean, unless you get some that are a little bit more Americanized. That's when it's flipped the script. They don't want those. I'm gonna be honest. The ones that are Americanized, they're a problem. The ones that are trying to get over here with the visa, they're not gonna ask off the rip. I need $175,000. Most cases, they coming in on a contract, and the contract is already negotiated to say your contract is this, and they're gonna pay you a lot less. They come in through contract firms. So the thing is, it's not the talent is better, it's cheaper wages. They don't care nothing about talent. I see a lot of talented people. So with that being said, it's a game. So now, and y'all hear me. I like I said, I've been in the tech industry now. My daughter is 22. I truly got into the tech industry when my daughter was 4. So I've been in the tech industry for 17 years. 17 years, y'all. And one thing I do notice, my India counterparts are going to argue less about the work. They're going to provide suggestions. But if you don't go through with the suggestions, they're going to, they're not going to argue. They're going to go with it. But you got Jim over here who's a white, and this is going to go into what Vivek said that's making him mad. You're going to get the white college graduate who's had pretty much a silver spoon in his mouth his whole life. He got a job. He's going to argue with you the whole time. He ain't going to give you what you want. He going to fight with you the whole time. And he going to argue with you the entire time. And he's going to push back. They don't like pushback. Even if it fails, they don't like pushback. And guess what? I'm going to need pay. I'm going to need bonus. I'm going to need vacation. I'm going to need this. I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that. Y'all asking for, they saying you asking for too much. So what Vivek and Musk is saying is, we're going to push the card of saying they're more talented in India, because that's where they're trying to do the work, rather than call a spade a spade. It's not the talent. It's the culture and the pay. And majority of these, and I said this, majority of these CEOs, CIOs now, and CEOs are Indian. Man, I'm telling y'all, we finna look up the tech industry is no longer, and white people are mad right now because Vivek told them, y'all are lazy white employees. This is what Vivek said. Y'all lazy. White people, y'all lazy. Y'all need to pull yourselves up from your bootstraps. And they are livid right now. When I tell my dog is in rare form, I am so laughing right now. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna play a video, y'all, while I do this. Hold on. My somebody's at my mom's door. Hold on.
Of security clearance. In April, a career American ambassador pleaded guilty to spying for the intelligence service of Cuba. Victor Manuel Rocha served his country in positions that required the highest levels of security.
1 second, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. We had Stanley Steamer and my daughter ditched me. So hold on. Let me play the video real quick of what I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm so sorry, y'all. I got caught off guard today. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. So let me do this quick disclaimer and then we can get started. Hold on. I'm going to play the video. 1 second, ma'am. All right. And then y'all got my full attention. Okay, so copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, new reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So, fair use. Let me share my screen and then we can get started.
EVE Online on Mac immerses you in a universe with thousands of stars. Tonight, an immigration.
All right, here we go.
Cyber battle brewing among supporters of President-elect Donald Trump. Far-right activist Laura Loomer taking to X to slam Trump's new artificial intelligence advisor, Sriram Krishnan, for his past support of easing restrictions on skilled foreign workers coming to the U.S. Loomer launching a series of posts such as, "Our country was built by white Europeans, actually, not third-world invaders from India." Other MAGA figures like Steve Bannon joining in.
It's about taking American jobs and bringing over essential or become indentured servants at lower wages.
The controversy is over H-1B visas, a program that lets foreigners with highly coveted tech skills work in the U.S. for up to 6 years. A program applauded and defended by some of Mr. Trump's closest advisors, including Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and others in the tech industry, which is heavily reliant on foreign skilled workers. Musk responding to the online barrage by saying, if you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be.
I think this is sort of a pregame, a sign of things to come. These tensions between the sort of what you could call the populist nationalist wing of the Republican Party and the new tech elite.
While Trump has promised a hard line on illegal immigration and mass deportation, many in the tech industry are pushing him to expand legal immigration for high-skilled workers, an idea he's hinted he's open to for foreign students.
Somebody graduates at the top of the class, they can't even make a deal with a company because they don't think they're going to be able to stay in the country. That is going to end on day one.
At some point, something's got to give. They got to decide what is the orientation of immigration policy. Is it going to focus on attracting the best talent to the country, or a more protectionist model where we put up fences?
Aaron Gilchrist, NBC News, Washington.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
All right, so listen up. State Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you. I got a friend who told me about this website. Now I'm spending $58 a month. Full coverage. That's saving $139. It's amazing. All you do, you just go to the site, you put in some basic information, and you get all these options that show up. People start saving right away. All you got to do is just go check it out. It's that simple. The link's below.
All right, y'all. My apologies. Y'all know how it is when you have older parents. You got to pretty much take care of everything, but I'm back. So y'all notice that the whole push was, anybody that wants H-1B visas. I'm back. I'm not frozen anymore. We had somebody to come to the house, and my apologies for taking so long. My mother's older. So when they come to the house, I have to talk. So that's what took me so long, but I'm back now. Hold on. Let me get to the next video. So that is the whole purpose. All right, y'all got my full undivided attention now. So with that being said, that right there, and I'm going to play it again because I want to rewatch it with y'all. So here we go. I'm playing another video. Everybody keeps saying I like Trump. Ooh, whoever these saints are, they just bored, honey.
Feud has erupted within President-elect Trump's MAGA base over visas for skilled immigrant workers. Trump is apparently now expressing some support for the H-1B visa program after he had criticized it in the past. This comes after Trump allies Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy expressed their support for the program last week, arguing that high-skilled foreign workers are essential for the U.S. tech industry. That had many in MAGA world furious, claiming the pair were contradicting Trump's immigration policies and his America First philosophy for their own personal benefit. And joining us now to talk about this is MSNBC contributor and author of the book, How the Right Lost Its Mind, Charlie Sykes, and contributing columnist for The Hill, Matt Lewis. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here. And if people weren't paying attention over the holidays last couple of days, this story exploded on the right and is going to have real ramifications going forward. And Matt, in your latest opinion piece, you asked the question, can Trump hold his coalition together? You write in part this. Today, it's MAGA that finds itself as the big tent coalition full of internal contradictions. The question is, how long can it last? Holding this coalition together will be one of Trump's greatest challenges in his second term. It's a happy dilemma, but also a test of political skill. Cracks are already showing. You go on to write, a catch-22 of politics is the fact that once you start governing and making decisions, you're almost guaranteed to alienate some of the people who put you in office in the first place. It requires finesse to manage, and finesse isn't exactly Trump's strong suit. But will the coalition's contradictions ultimately tear it apart? Trump's ability to navigate these challenges will define his second presidency. By this time next year, we'll likely know the answer. And Matt, talk to us more about, first of all, this schism on immigration that happened here. Fill viewers in as to what exactly is going on and what you think it does mean for this fragile Trump coalition.
Right. Well, so there is this schism, and you've got sort of billionaire tech bros like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy who want to be able to have highly skilled immigrants, obviously, who are going to help work for them or work in the tech industry. And they argue that that would be good for America, for innovation, for us to stay competitive around the world. But then you have folks who have been tilling these fields for a long time, people like Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, Laura Loomer, who say, look, hey, last time we elected Donald Trump, we were promised he was going to do something on immigration. He did some stuff, but we had all of these establishment.
So the biggest concern too, as well, and I forgot to bring that up. You got two individuals. I think Ramaswamy is a first-generation immigrant, meaning his parents were immigrants, and he's first-generation U.S. citizen here. So he is looking from the mindset of, U.S. is broken, let's fix it. Now, keep in mind, these other countries, they're using this money to funnel back over there. I'll just leave it right there. And then Mr. Apartheid himself, Elon Musk, he is based out of South Africa. So he's South African. So South Africa has a horrible history when it comes to Black people. They have a horrible history in South Africa. And they still fighting now. The Boers, what you call them, the Boers, I think and we'll talk deeper into South Africa later. But you're dealing with that as well. So this is what's going on. So let me play the video. Let me finish playing it. 1 second.
Republicans in our way, these kind of normie, Rex Tillerson, Reince Priebus, those types around, stopping us from really having a radical agenda, doing mass deportations, building the wall, all of that stuff. This time around, they think they're finally going to get to the promised land And here comes Elon Musk, right? This billionaire owns X, who obviously has Donald Trump's ear. But I think this is a microcosm of a larger problem that Donald Trump has, which is that there is really no coherent MAGA philosophy. And there are a ton of contradictions. Like, is this the party of McDonald's, or is this the party of crunchy RFK yoga moms? Is this the party of values voters, or is this the party of Pete Hegseth and Matt Gaetz and Donald Trump, right? So there's a lot of these problems. We've had this before. FDR had a big coalition full of a lot of people who you couldn't have put them in a room together, but he had a big coalition, right? Donald Trump has 1 or 2 votes in the House to do anything. And so this is going to take a lot of skill. I don't necessarily think it's the end of the Trump presidency, but man, is it going to be a challenge.
I mean, Steve Bannon called Elon Musk a child on Elon Musk's own social media platform over the weekend. That's where things are right now on the MAGA right. And Charlie, in your latest post on Substack, you wrote in part this: it seems pretentious and overblown to call it a MAGA civil war, but the oligarch versus nativist furor that broke out.
So somebody kick, who has a wrench? Kick out this person right here. Please kick them out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. But goodbye. Somebody kick him out. Because I'm not in the mood. So with that being said, the tech industry right now is going through. They're going through right now. And that's why everything is hot and heated. Because tech industry is one of those industries where it was white male dominated. We got to be honest. It's white male dominated, especially in those leadership roles. Black people are pretty much, we'll get in, but we get in we come in very low. And then to get to the top, you'll see that we got to pretty much fight the way our way up. And I'm gonna be honest, tech is not one of those where you got to be dumb. It's more so of exposure, access, and training. If you get exposure to the technology or new technology by way of mentorship or being put on projects or working on certain things, you're gonna learn how it functions. If it be database, if it be coding, if it be you're gonna learn it. It's nothing hard to learn. But when you have a glass ceiling that doesn't give you access to be able to learn the new technologies, you try and go learn it on your own through getting degrees or getting certifications. But the best teacher is experience. So if you don't get that experience, guess what? You can't get in. So in most cases, white males get access to the projects, to get access to the environment. And then some of us that by the time you do get that access, it's just like you're treated like you should already know. And you're saying, wait a minute, hold on. You took this person through a rigorous training, staying up late with them, showing them how to do things, walking them through it. But then the black person in the back, pull yourself up. You don't have the skill set or the aptitude. The other person doesn't either, but you've given them access. So with that being said, it's very much built out because it's a quick. IT is one of those where you ain't got to have a doctorate to make $200,000 a year. You don't have to have a doctorate making $300,000 a year. You can have a bachelor's walking in and work your way up. And by the time you become a director in an IT firm or a company or a major company, you're making a minimum of $200,000, $250,000 a year. So that money is like, bam, let me hurry up and get all this money, because tech is going to always be that one thing that you can get in. Somebody coming in at tech can make the same thing a doctor makes, being honest. So guess what? We're going to make sure that the Good Old Boy Network is serious in the tech industry. Tech industry I tell them they go hard there. They're going to make sure that they make you think that you got access, but you really don't. That's why so many of us, if you notice, so many of us in the Hebrew community, a lot of us are tech. All of us went IT. Pastor Kelly's IT. I'm IT. Benaya's IT. I think Dante is IT. I think Teo was IT. Is IT. Who else is IT? There's a whole Aerospike is IT. I think Karis was IT. I think Big Red was IT. A lot of us were IT. I'm IT. I went to school and graduated with a bachelor's in information technology from a major university. So coming out, all of us came out with the same mindset where you can make some money. My advisor asked me, what do you want to do for a living? I said, I want to do something that does not require for me to come back to grad school because I hate school. I don't like universities. I just did it because my parents made me do it, but I knew I needed to do it where I can get done, get my 4-year degree. Once I'm done, I can make money. He said, computer science, stay in the engineering program. I said, I said, because I started out as an engineering major. I said, nope, because that take too much of my time. I don't want to be sitting in the lab all day long. I don't have the patience. He said, well, wait a minute. We got a new, because management information technology was new. It's new. Because what they decided was a lot of computer science people were going into these businesses and could not talk to the business partners because they're so techie. So they said, we got to have something in the business program where you get the techie, but you also get the business. So you got the best of two worlds. You take a lot of the, I took a lot of the tech classes, like the coding classes, the network classes, the engineering classes. And what they figured out was you will learn the technology as you grow in your field. But what we having a problem with, these people don't know how to talk to somebody in finance when we handling these projects, or somebody in marketing when we're taking, because they don't speak English, they speak tech. So a lot of us graduated with IT degrees and went straight into the industry. And guess what happened? We thought the skies there was no limitation to what we had access to, and found out the gatekeepers were there. And the gatekeepers was off the rip. We coming through the door were there. If you're not operating at a superstar level, you don't get access. Whereas Jimmy Bob can be mediocre, but because Jimmy Bob is who he is, he can be able to get a good mentor. Mentor will give him access and give him the training and clean up Jimmy Bob, and then Jimmy Bob at the same level as you. We don't get that. So they've had that industry on lock. But guess what? In the past 3 to 4 years, it's been huge initiatives to do these layoffs. And a lot of these layoffs were impacting people with these high-end jobs. Jimmy Bob, who came in making $60,000, by now he's making $250,000 a year. Jimmy Bob is out. Laura came in making $60,000. Now she's making $275,000 a year. Let's lay her off. And what they've been doing is not firing them, but laying them off. Saying we're going to lay them off. And guess what? They resurfaced the same job. Whereas Lori is making $275,000 a year. I can put that job back out on LinkedIn and give somebody $100,000 for this job. Y'all remember the tech industry had a real hit just 2 years ago. I got hit by it. People were getting laid off. And we sitting here like, what is going on? Everybody kept saying AI. So AI is not that developed to be able to manage the work that we've been doing. No, they're offshoring it, or they're bringing in somebody, that Visa, that will require less in pay. Because Lori is asking for way too much money. We paying Lori $275,000 a year for a job. I can get Vivek, and I'm only using his name because that's the name that's not him. I can bring Vivek in and charge him. He can charge us $100,000 a year, because guess what? He's on contract. And what happens is the contract firm sponsors and helps pull them in with those visas, and HR works with them on their visa. And guess what? They bring them over in. And guess what? That $100,000 is probably going to be $75,000. And he's going to come in, and we really don't need Lori to be a senior project manager. We can bring them in as a project analyst or a project specialist, or even as they love titles. Give them a senior project manager title, but I'm gonna pay you $85,000, $90,000 a year, or $100,000 a year. Bam, off the top, $175,000 I can put back into our cash. So this is the game that they've been paying. So right now, They want things back to normal. We want our $275,000 jobs where we had corporate cards and was able to get on a plane and fly anywhere for work. But while I'm flying anywhere and work, I can still have fun in my leisure time. All these perks, I want that back. And Elon Musk and Vivek said, no, we're not going to do that no more because we want that money back in-house. We tired of giving y'all all this money. I'm going to go ahead and get this person with this H-1B visa, bring them in, and that's all they're going to do is work. And I mean, Indians will work, baby. They will work. Workhorse, they ain't got to get on no plane. They ain't even looking at trying to get to a plane. They just want to be able to work, and they're going to remain focused on their work. If you give them good direction, I will say that much. Outside of that direction, you're going to have problems. But if you give them good direction and say, this is exactly how I want it, this is what I want, they're going to be like, no questions asked, and they're going to give you exactly what you want for $100,000 a year. Bye, Lori. I don't need you anymore for $275,000 a year, where you're going to push back on the customer and make them mad, and then I'm going to have to argue with, no, you too much of a problem. You asking for too much. Goodbye. I'm going to lay you off. I'm going to give you a good layoff, a severance package, but I'm going to lay you off, and I'm going to give this person over here with this H-1B visa the same job. That's all that's going on right now. It's not the talent. It's like, what makes sense when it comes to the money and the books? You're going to deliver what I want, period. No questions asked, for a cheaper price. Vivek and Musk saying, we going with this. Just great example. When they had that big layoff at Twitter, which is X, majority of the people were them people. They got laid off. Whereas the H-1B visa people wasn't pushing back on Elon Musk. They ended up being the ones that kept their jobs. So guess what? Musk is like, I don't want no more y'all Americans. Y'all are a problem. And they attacking the white community, and the white community is mad. They said, Vivek said, y'all lazy. And they was mad about that. Y'all ask for too much. Y'all want too much. This is how it's going to be. Do y'all get it? Did I give you a good, pretty picture? I hope I gave y'all a good, pretty picture, because that's what's really going on. Cheap labor. No questions asked. And guess what? On the back end, I'm going to create something called Copilot, ChatGPT, all these AI tools. So guess what? If I'm coding, Vivek can type, please build the framework for creating. Let me see. Let me show y'all what Copilot can do. Have y'all seen Copilot? Copilot is ridiculous. So that's all I have to do to make things easy. I'm going to share some with y'all. I'm showing y'all my Copilot. Share this tab. So build a accounting code. I was typing something fast for capturing incoming invoices. I was typing something fast, y'all. Python. And that's just easy work right there. That's easy. So I can get y'all to do this. Type that. Go and do that. They gonna do it. They gonna look at it. They got the framework. They got to make a few modifications to it. They not gonna argue with you, and they gonna hand it to them and say, here it is. What do you think that they gonna do? Hey, Gardis. Gardis is in IT as well. But what do you think they finna do? They gonna go with the cheap labor that's gonna give them minimal problems. So right now, Vivek said, white people, y'all ask for too much. Y'all ask for too much. Y'all asking for too much. Let me do this. Let's go ahead and get these H-1B visas. Let's create some policies to make it easier for them to come in. Yep, Divine Prospect as well is in tech. I forgot too. But let's go ahead and make some rules that are a little bit easier. Let's get more of those into the industry because we've already cleaned house for the past 2 years. We've got tech industry already knew what was going on. That's why I'm like, tech industry is behind this presidency. I'm believing this now. The tech industry is the driver for Trump. All these hacks didn't happen, all this stuff to transpire, and then Trump all of a sudden won every single state. Hold on one second. So they are livid right now. So let me finish playing this video.
Over the last week over immigration, race, and visas was real, and it was spectacular. The angry skirmish exposed a fundamental divide over a core issue for MAGA, and it's likely a preview of coming attractions. But the fight was also a reminder that irony is good and truly dead. After spending hundreds of millions of dollars supporting a candidate who lied about immigrants eating cats and dogs, the neo-MAGA tech.
So again, understand that it's the ones he want to get rid of. Think about it. Let's wipe out the brown people who are the ones that's doing the more heavy labor jobs. But let's leave that wide open. Let's make sure that people don't have access to the money, the actual tech industry that they want to be a part of. Let's make it to the point they want these jobs and they ain't got no choice. So they're making room for jobs for y'all, but not the tech industry. The tech industry, we gonna leave it upon my people to do this. Gotta see the writing on the wall. These layoffs was happening for 2 years, y'all. These layoffs have been merciless. We kept saying IT ain't never been like this. IT ain't never been where you couldn't find a job. You couldn't get in. You couldn't. I got friends that have been laid off and they just now beginning to see the light of day. And they're making sure that let's clean house. But let's make sure Trump get in office because the tech, and Gardner said something, and I'm glad he said it because he just made me remember. The billionaires have been 100, these tech billionaires have been 100% supportive for Trump. So let's go ahead and clean house, y'all, because what we're going to do, we're going to make sure Trump get in office. Think about past 2 years since Kamala and everybody's been in office, and the back end tech industry has been ripping the game up. Been just laying folk off left and right, and they're blaming Democrats. Yeah, that's the reason why y'all ain't got no jobs. So they mad right now, like we ain't got no jobs. Trump get on mic and say, we gonna bring the jobs back to America. Yes, bring the jobs back. All the while, tech industry in the back saying, okay, we didn't clean house. Let's go ahead and get Dems out. And Dems ain't no better because, I'm not even a Democrat. Not. We're going to go ahead and throw them under the bus. They already got enough problems with Putin. They got enough problems with this. While we're doing it, we finna go lay the framework of how we're going to restructure the tech industry. And we're going to drive it by. The engine to this is going to be not necessarily offshore, but bring them in through those visas. And now, before Trump even get his day one in, it's already hit the street that they saying, yeah, we're gonna bring the jobs back to America, but we're gonna bring those same offshores into America to do the work. Because what they're finding out is when they offshore, these companies can't keep tabs of what's going on. There's a language barrier, and they may bring 2 or 3 people from India to represent the entire offshore team that's based in India. That depends on how they want to do this thing. So the tech industry is saying, we're going to go and build this up. We're going to make us some money while Trump is in office. Trump is stupid. So Trump is going to go and be buddy. Musk then weaseled his way in and said, okay, Trump, We're going to work together. We're going to bring the jobs back. We're going to leave. We're going to push immigrants out. And the whole while, Musk and Vivek in the back saying, yeah, we're going to do this, but we're going to bring the immigrants we want in. They call them skilled workers. Pay them less, and we're going to push the propaganda that they're smarter, they're better. And people who really work in tech say, wait, hold on, they're no smarter than anybody else in the room. Y'all really not telling the truth. Again, I'm not bashing anybody, but don't make it seem like, because being honest, they consider you, in some cases, they consider them smarter, but actually it's not necessarily they're smarter. In some cases, they understand straightforward. These are the instructions. Let's stick to it. Don't go nowhere else with it. They're not gonna push back as much. Whereas again, Lori's gonna push back. She's gonna argue with the customer. She's gonna tell the customer what they need. And the thing is, she's gonna push back so much that the customer is gonna get mad and sick of it. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and push Lori out, because Lori's a problem. I don't care if it is gonna take this, or you don't think that this makes sense from a business perspective. I want what I asked for. If you ever worked in IT and work with the business don't think like that doesn't make sense. Why are you doing it like this? It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. Make it work. Figure it out. So guess what? We're going to push them out, but we're going to make sure some jobs are here, but they're going to be the low-end jobs. So Lori, who at one time is making $275,000 a year, having to take a job that's $90,000, $100,000, $110,000. I can't afford this house. All the while, Elon Musk is saying, I'm going to build these small, conducive houses, tiny houses for $6,000, pushing tiny house, and also slick online. I really do. I'm a van lifer to my heart. I love van lifing, but I'm wondering if it's an agenda even with that. Because people are saying, I'm tired of the houses. I'm tired of living bound by debt. Because some of them are doing it because they're tired of debt. I'm going to live in my nice little van and get out of debt. But all the while, they letting their houses go and they buying the properties up. And then once these people come out of these vans and look up, wait a minute, I can't buy a house. A house is $400,000. And I can't do it on my little $90,000 gig that I got. Plus, my content creating is scary. Some of them making money off their content creating. Let's appease them with that. So guess what? I'm gonna do this. Plus on TikTok, I'm gonna do TikTok items. I'm sell stuff on TikTok. Guess what? They shutting down TikTok. These people gonna get impacted. They don't care. And I'm looking at it, y'all, and I'm sitting and I'm watching. I said, oh my goodness. And this is not just here. This is all over the world. UK market is impacted. All over the world, you're beginning to see that they're saying we need to make more money. Don't think that this is just a US thing, y'all. This ain't just a US thing. This is not. This is a worldwide event. The tech industry is reaching beyond just here. They're hitting anybody that want to ask for more. You're gonna get just enough. Just enough. So that's all I'm saying. So let's keep going.
Bros seem genuinely shocked to discover that the fear and loathing extends to their immigrants. And Charlie, talk to us more about this. There was such a sense of anger and outrage and betrayal, let's say, on the far right, particularly some very loud, influential voices on the far right who couldn't believe that Ramaswamy and Musk were taking this stance. Ramaswamy kicking this off with a lengthy post on Christmas Day. Trump tried to stay out of it for a couple of days, it seems, and then he gave an interview to the New York Post in which he offered at least some soft support to where Musk is hurting his base. What do you make of what's to come next?
I love Monday.com.
What's Monday.com?
You don't know Monday.com? This is Monday.com. It's a platform that helps us run our work, collaborate with other departments, understand our business, and reach our goals.
So, project management.
No, work management. Any type of work, any kind of business at every scale. Marketing, sales, ops, HR.
Well, I mean, look, on one level, there's a power struggle going on inside of MAGA, but on another level, this is a substantive dispute. which is inevitable in a populist movement that is now dominated by billionaire tech bro elitists. And that's going to show up in a lot of issues. Look, a lot of the MAGA base is motivated by the fear of immigrants and resentment against immigrants, foreigners, taking jobs that they think that Americans should have. And here comes Elon Musk and saying that, yeah, there are not enough Americans. Americans are, and he endorsed the word retarded, are just not smart enough or not skilled enough to take all these high-tech jobs. We need to import foreigners like me. Well, clearly, that's going to cause tension in MAGA. This is a campaign that was based upon fear of foreigners coming in and taking your communities, your jobs, your women, all of those things. And so these latecomers, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, really have very different value systems. I think they have different agendas than the MAGA base. So this is going to play out over a long period of time. Now, right now, and to no one's surprise, Donald Trump is siding with, the billionaire tech bros, but the base is not going to change its position on immigration. And sometimes, ideas have consequences, but so does racial demagoguery. And I think what was really extraordinary was watching how shocked Elon Musk and some of his buddies were to find out that many of their new MAGA allies are in fact pretty racist when it comes to Indian immigrants. And it seemed like they were shocked, like, wait, we were supposed to be afraid of those immigrants. Now you're coming for our immigrants? We didn't mean that.
Yeah, and this also is far from the only tension point on the right now, because this Friday, House lawmakers will vote on whether or not to reelect Mike Johnson as House Speaker. Following last week's government funding bill, which passed the House with more Democratic than Republican votes, Speaker Johnson's candidacy is very much in peril. Already, Johnson has publicly lost the support of one Republican congressman, with multiple others saying they are unsure if they will back the Speaker. And if, as expected, all 215 Democrats oppose him, Johnson can only afford one more Republican defection. So, Matt Lewis, let's get your thoughts on this. Trump has also seemed pretty content to let Johnson twist in the wind. We know he was unhappy with the CR that eventually was passed because it didn't address the debt ceiling. He talked about that again on Truth Social last night. Though Trump has not publicly called for Johnson to be ousted, there will all
great great point is MAGA base has pretty much voted themselves out of a job. I'm finna get this year is going to be on and popping, y'all. This year, I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be very interesting, and I want to see from even just a U.S. perspective, a world event, because you gotta realize colonization and these moves that these hungry tech industries are doing is not just within U.S. It's spreading. Their tenants are spreading even further out, even into Europe, into Asia, into India, into Africa, all over. Their tech industry is not just us. That's why when we're in college, they introduced something called globalization. Globalization took us outside of the realm of something just happening locally within the US, and then something happening in India, something happening in the UK, they took that and made it a global event. So when they introduced this is a global event, and they're doing the same thing all over. And when the tech industry is done draining from these countries, they're going to pull back even more. And guess what? They're utilizing them as a tool until y'all, that was my Celsius that fell. So my drink. But they're using that as a tool until they develop better AI. Who they gonna test this on? They can't really test over here because it's regulations. They finna be testing on with these countries that they're utilizing. This stuff is getting real. Elon Musk he's a despicable man. He's a citizen. He's still South African. Anything far as any tech when it comes to body, he's creating something where your mind, all this stuff is going to be tested, where you're able to test these weird concoctions that you come out with, not here but overseas. They're still utilizing these countries as a playing ground because they can't do certain things here. So we're going to test out on these countries that's going to allow us to test our subjects out here. This is why you see disease. You're going to start seeing some weird stuff go on. So with that being said, I sitting in the tech industry and watching everything play out the way it's playing out. People in tech in Kenya for $2 an hour with IT and math degrees. They do that with everybody, not just within Kenya. Asif, and I just said that. They're doing it. I just said that earlier. They're doing that worldwide, where I can be an IT director here in the U.S. making $200,000 a year. I can have a counterpart. I ain't making that much, but the role that I'm in, my counterpart will make much less. Where I'm making, let's say, $150,000 a year, my counterpart may make $13,000 a year for the same job, for the exact same job, because the cost of living. Whereas somebody here is going to make $45 or $50 an hour working here, I can do that same job for $5 an hour, real time. And this is how the tech industry runs. Offshore was the worst thing for a U.S. worker, but the best thing for a corporate greed Mongol to be just making this greedy corporate executive billionaire to make money. I can get 10 people and charge them $5 an hour. 10 for what? 1, 2, 10 people. That's 50 for that one person in the U.S. I can get 5 people, 6 people, 7 people in India to do the job. I can get the same person in the tech industry to do the job. And I've sat and I've watched it, and I think talked about this a while back, that we're going to see the tech industry, not just within the tech, but resource industry. Why do you think they are mining so hard in the Congo? People forgetting about that. These same ish people y'all talking about, they're literally mining in Africa right now for coltan, for resources, for everything, so that they can build these electric cars, so they can go and build these phones. So I don't have any regulations there. These leaders gonna let me come in, and I'm gonna drain the resources out, and I'm gonna create these electric cars for cheap labor for mining, and I'm gonna get children to do the mining there. And while I'm pulling all the resources out, once I got the system built, I'm gonna send the work over to India, where they have no laws. They can do whatever they want to do. They can work unlimited hours, and I'm gonna get them to support once I install whatever software and system on there. And once I'm done, guess what's gonna happen? I done made so much money. Because I can't send U.S. employees over into Africa to mine. I can't send U.S. Because guess what? Where you charging them a quarter to do that, you're going to have to charge me. You're going to pay them a quarter to do it. You're going to have to pay me some money to do it. So these countries are doing this to their people because India ain't going to argue. India wants to work over there. African leaders are not going to argue because they want to work over there. They don't care that these kids are dying in the mines while they're searching for coltan. They're not going to care that they're draining the children to do whatever they need them to do in Zimbabwe and Tanzania, all these countries. They're not going to worry about the India countries where I'm going to charge you $5 an hour to do a job. But guess what? When you get done working, I ain't got to pay you. We've been talking about this. Yeah, but it makes it from a money perspective in the books. I'm like, that coming, they did the game. This is a game, y'all. And I'm sitting, I'm watching it. I'm like, when I used to work for not the current company, other companies that I've worked for in the past, when I would be like, why are we doing all this offshore? I had a whole team in my younger career, early in my career, that I was directly responsible for. They were based in India for testing. We would get done testing, and they would be testing overnight while we're sleeping. And they would do a lot of the tests. Like, if you know anything about testing, QA testing, you got your normal project testing, and then you have like just your regression testing and your integration testing, where you're testing software as far as, is it going to function once we implement, is it going to function properly once we implement this new software or update, is it going to integrate well? So we would do a lot of that testing in India, because those had like 1,000 test cases. Project testing probably has 50 test cases I got to run through. But while I'm going through my testing of the project at night while I'm sleeping, India is doing the hard lifting, which is the regression testing, and providing my test results. When I get done, I'm going to go in the lab in the morning. I'm going to run probably about 10, because this is what you're going to do. You're going to go in. I'm going to run about, I'm going to go in. This is how people think in America. Just think in American mindset. I'm going to go in. I'm going to get a cup of coffee, drink my coffee. I'm going to go log into my computer at work. Look at and they want to bring work back into the office too, so they can watch it. Because if you want to be a U.S. employee now, be prepared. We're going back into the office, which I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But I'm going to sit in front of the computer. I'm going to look at my emails. And I'm going to say, okay, schedule a few meetings. I hadn't read through any of my test cases yet, but it's on my calendar. When I get done with my first set of meetings in the morning, let me run through my test scenarios. But before I do that, let me go and get lunch real quick. Let me go get my lunch real quick. Once I'm done with lunch, now keep in mind, I came in this morning. I got coffee. I got breakfast. I'm sitting in front of my computer, taking my time. I'm going to talk to people as they pass by. Then probably I'm going to run a few test cases during the day, and then I'll get back to it tonight, this afternoon. Come back and run probably 10 more. I got the end of the week to get through all my test scenarios. I got 50 test cases I got to run through. So I'm going to pretty much say I'm going to do 10 a day. Now, keep in mind, all this dead time that I've had, I could have ran 20 to 25, almost 30, and been done with testing in 2 days. But because I got time, I'm going to chill. Now, I'm going to give you a lot of projects, but I'm going to schedule my things just in time, just right, so that I can have their free space. And by the time I get done with my testing, here are my test results. India went through regression testing 4 times with 1,000 test cases. 1,000 test cases. They ran through it 4 times. Because keep in mind, I got 10 people over there making $5 an hour, whereas I got one person that's making $150,000 a year that can't get through 50 tests. Guess what they finna do? We finna go ahead and ship all this off. India is going to sit down. They coming in work. They already had their coffee. They already had their lunch. They went straight into the lab. They finna, when we had India in-house, they going straight into the lab. They running those test cases, running those test cases. By the end of the day, they done with 40 test cases. Lori's only done with 5 because she's socialized. They very focused. They finna get it done. They ain't finna argue with you. And then guess what? When they eat lunch, they're gonna all go eat lunch together. They done brought their lunch. Keep in mind, Lori finna go to Chili's and go sit down and eat lunch. She's gonna leave the building. India's gonna all go into that lab, open up their 10 containers, because they put all their pretty stuff in pretty. I love their containers though. What they put their lunch in. I'll be searching for them. Beautiful containers. They're gonna open up their containers. They're gonna sit quietly, eat their lunch. They're going to talk to each other. They're going to be right on the clock. 1 hour. They're going to eat lunch in 30 minutes because they're going to have to hurry up, go wash their hands, get ready, and go back into the lab and work some more. You ain't going to see them in the lab talking. You're not going to see them in the cafeteria talking. They're going straight to work. And then when it's time to be done, by the end of the evening, test cases we ran 30. Because you've given them directions. If you know anything about test cases, you get a scenario. Run through this. What are the results? The result is this. Was it supposed to be ran? Was the end result supposed to be that? Yes. and then move on. This is why white America is panicking right now. They panicking because they used to, I'm going to run through my 50 test cases in a week, but talk to the business on Monday morning or Friday evening, to a Friday afternoon, tell them what the results are, have a great weekend, and might do a little work on Sunday to be prepared for Monday. Go in Monday, be prepared to say, we're going to run through this again. Guess what? I only have 20 test cases. But because I need to rework them, I'm still not going to be done until Friday. Then I'm going to go back home and have a great weekend. You're paying me $250,000, and now they're saying, what are you doing? What are they doing? Whereas Vivek in that lab ain't going to run through the test cases and going to have the results of the business by Wednesday. And guess what? We're going to do another iteration of testing that Wednesday of the test cases that fail, because I'm going to give the engineers time to fix it. Let's run through. We have enough time. Thursday, we can go ahead and knock it out. By Friday, we done ran through 2 iterations of testing. Real talk. Vivek might make $100,000 a year. Vivek might make $80,000 a year, depending on his contract. Laura's making $200,000, $150,000, $175,000 a year. Not to mention, she got to have vacation. She's going to be gone for 2 weeks. So Lori's not going to be there. When you deal with them consulting firms, if Vivek is leaving for vacation, guess what? The project does not stop. When Lori goes on vacation, it possibly will stop because she is the subject matter expert on purpose, because Lori does not want to share her knowledge with anybody. So she wants the system to stop while she's out for 2 weeks. Project is on hold for 2 weeks. Vivek over here is required to do knowledge transfer, or it's going to always be 2 of them working on it. So when Vivek goes on vacation, Rumshi is going to come in and finish until Vivek comes back. And then once Vivek comes back, Rumshi's off and he's working on something else. They got a system. They got a system of doing things. The business doesn't stop with offshore or H-1B visa employees. It keeps going. But it does stop with Lori. It does stop. Seen it as a QA manager. And when I saw it, I said, But while you sitting here, Raheem, who, and I'm only using that because, I'm just trying to show the Black person, might be in the back saying, hey, give me a chance. Give me a chance. Let me do some of the stuff that Lori's doing. Lori said, no, I'm not going to help you. No, you're not going to get access, Raheem. You just keep sitting in the corner. I might let you can look through my test cases and read through them and make necessary changes to it because you're my business analyst. But I'm not going to give you access, Raheem. I own that access. And guess what? All the while, Raheem said, I just want a chance. I just want a chance. I said, now, Raheem, you got some issues we need to work through. Your delivery is this. Oh, we got to work through. We're going to put you on a plan to get you on track. Raheem the whole time saying, what I do? I ain't did nothing. You're not polished enough. And Lori the whole time putting her foot on Raheem's neck and saying, I'm not going to give you access. But guess what? 2 years ago, corporation said, we tired of paying y'all $275,000 a year. Goodbye, Lori. We might let Raheem take the job for a little bit. And then eventually we're going to let Raheem go. Because Raheem we still can't do that. But until then, Raheem filled his spot for a little bit. Lori, goodbye. $275,000 walking out the door. Raheem, we're still going to pay you I'm paying her $250. You might just make $100, for now. But all the while, India is just flourishing. Man, when I said watched it and I'm looking at, and I hope I gave y'all a good picture of what I've seen. All the while I'm sitting here saying, wow. This is what we're doing now. And this is where we are right now. Bam. Bye, Raheem. You're out too. Because I'm now going to give it to Vivek, who has a visa. Vivek is not going to argue with me. Vivek is going, if I tell Vivek I want these test cases done in 3 days, and I don't want you to go over the hours, Vivek, you got to get this done in 3 days. Lori and Raheem can push back because Lori and them ain't got nothing to lose. You can't harass them. You can't do them wrong because you're going to be in somebody's HR office. Then you can be able to push back because I'm a citizen. Vivek trying to keep hold to that visa. So he going to sit in that lab and miss lunch, and he going to get that job done quickly. He ain't finna argue with you. Lori is going to argue. Vivek is not. Because Vivek has a lot to lose. If Vivek doesn't deliver and he gets fired, he has to go back to India. This is serious business. So guess what? Now I'm going to push the propaganda out there into mainstream media that Vivek is smarter than Lori. Lori graduated from the best university. They went through a Microsoft intense training. They went to ITIL intense training. They went through IBM intense training, have been a part of billion-dollar projects. But Lori, you're still not smart enough. Vivek over here, they're going to all hurry up and huddle together and get these certifications. We're going to bring him in. We're going to bring him in for cheaper. Bye, Lori. Goodbye. And I'm going to propagate on the TV. India is smarter. India is faster. Yes, they got a lot to lose. That's why they're faster. I wouldn't call them smarter, but they're faster to get the work done. Vivek got to stay here in the U.S. because, like you said, he got his mama here, he got his wife here, he got his sister here, he got his auntie here, he got his kids here, his cousins. We can't lose. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit together and work for 4 different companies and work together at home, because now you can take your stuff home. We're going to swap ideas on how to get this stuff done. We're going to work together as a team because we got to keep these visas. It's serious business. And they done got played, baby. They played in y'all's face. And I've heard Lori, and I'm only using that name because maybe I'm going to pick another name, Marcy, who is the IT project manager who makes $250,000 a year, does not want, wait a minute, I didn't say Siri. Siri, I'm not talking to you. Okay. Marcy, who's been pushing offshore, because she says, I don't want Raheem working on my projects. I'm going to give all my work to Vivek, Ramsey, all these different Indians, because offshore is better. I love working with offshore. And offshore the whole time, stealing your ideas, watching you. And guess what? You get laid off. But the H-1B visa person that's been working with you, Marcy, we're going to keep them. And that's it. So, Vivek, did you learn everything from Lori or Marcy? Yes. Did you do a good knowledge transfer? Yes. Have y'all updated all the documentation? Yes. We got what we need. Vivek, can you manage the project? Yes. Lori, let's go in the office. Let's talk real quick. This is what we're going to do. We're going to give you severance. Your severance is going to be 3 months. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. You're going to have, thank you so much for working for our company. Shake your hand. Goodbye. Out. Now, Vivek, we got work to do. Let's get started. It's a game. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, they done played in these folks' face. So Lori is upset. I can't believe I'm losing and I can't. So in Lori's mind, though, her head is, that's fine. I've worked for Microsoft for 20 years, making $275,000 a year. It'll be easy for me to get a job somewhere. Problem is, Lori looking up 6 months later and still ain't found a job. Lori panicking right now. She loves her vacations in Italy. She loves her second home. She loves her boats. Her and her husband love vacationing and going in their family RVs. Wait a minute, I can't lose all this stuff. What's going on? We gotta kick the Dems out because the Democrats are a problem. It's the system, not the political parties. It's the entire system that's a problem. So Lori and Marcy, and Tommy, they're pissed. They like, wait, hold on. We got to bring somebody back in office so we can get our money back. I'm sick of this. Let's vote for Trump. Bring Trump back. And the tech industry playing in y'all face the whole time. Said, thank you. That's what I wanted. They both working the same. And guess what? While the tech industry watching, tech industry gonna say, hey, Trump, bring us in because we got the same ideas. We support you, Elon Musk. Vivek, all of them, we got the same. Let's push the immigrants out because in Marcy's mind, the immigrant that she's competing with is not the Mexican, it's the Indian that she got a problem with. But they said, we're going to push all the immigrants out and bring back our American jobs. Lori and Marcy thinking American jobs, I can finally get my $275,000 job back. Bring Trump back. Bring jobs back to America. Trump said, yeah, I'm going to bring them back. But Musk said, what we're going to do is bring in those visas to take those 200, because I'm not going to give y'all money back. You crazy? I want to redirect my money to something else. Played in their face. And guess what? This is where we are now. It is, MAGA got played so hard to the point because they were so, think about y'all, for the past 2 years, these layoffs have scared the life out of people. We've been watching it on real time. These folks are petrified. They want their lives back. And Trump says, I'm going to bring it back to the U.S. Bring Trump in office. And they're going to bring Trump in office. Trump's like, because realize Trump is a businessman as well. Now, I'm going to tell y'all the problem with this. It's not necessarily they don't want to. It's about getting access. And I'll talk about that too as well, about tech industry going into Africa. Because, yeah, I've heard stories on that too as well, where I got friends who are trying to do outside contracts and they're getting pushed out like, no, because you got to understand, Africa still somewhat has a colonized mind. They're going to go with the white consultants in some cases before you get to the black consultants, especially Black Americans. They look at us like we're lazy and we're dumb. Colonizers, they said, they're going to look at us like, nah, y'all can't come over here. Y'all can't bring y'all standards. Now, colonizer, China can go over there and cut a food. We can't do nothing, pretty much. And this is just from what I heard with people trying to get contracts over there. So, end game. So I'm going to finish playing this. I had to kind of, did that make sense? Did I give y'all a good breakdown of what I think possibly, potentially could be going on? It's real time. It's more than just they're smarter. It's a money thing. So I'm going to play my video.
Corn ready. It's going to be crazy. Look, if I had to bet, I think Johnson probably survives this time. Remember last time Matt Gaetz was really gunning for, Kevin McCarthy. So he had an agenda, a personal motive to take down McCarthy. I don't think that exists right now against the current speaker, Mike Johnson. But he is in a very vulnerable position. Nobody wants the job. I don't think anybody else can get the votes. That's probably why Johnson maybe survives this one. But I will say this, as opposed to the visa debate and the visa schism we were just talking about, I think the real problem Republicans are going to have does have to do with Mike Johnson. And it's going to have to do next year when it comes time to fund the government or raise the debt ceiling. Because with the H-1B visa controversy, you could possibly elide that, right? You could tell Elon what he wants to hear. Meanwhile, Stephen Miller could limit the number of visas, or you could make some changes on the margins and avoid directly confronting that issue, at least for a while. When it comes to whether or not you raise the debt limit, that is a very public thing. And so I don't think there's any way to avoid that controversy, which pits, again, another civil war, a different one. Republicans, fiscal conservatives like Representative Chip Roy, who want to cut the debt, want to cut the deficit, want to rein in the budget, and they want to keep the debt limit there as a reason to revisit this every once in a while, versus Donald Trump, who would like to see the debt limit just go away because he is the king of debt. So that, I think it is maybe not this week, but this is a coming attraction. Stay tuned for more on Mike Johnson.
Charlie, isn't this really going to come down to sooner or later, and I predict sooner, a battle between the true believers on the MAGA side and those that are doing transactional politics using the MAGA base, including Trump himself and Elon Musk and others? Because I think and I've seen this happen on the left, I think that they misunderstand or mistaken that some of the people that are out there with them really believe in this stuff against foreigners, against people of color and all. And they're kind of just doing whatever they think will get them to where.
They kill me saying people of color. This is what you call the boule. It's not about people in color, because the very man is sitting here saying people of color, he don't care. Al Sharpton doesn't care that Black people are not included in the conversation. They don't care nothing about us. The people of color that they're speaking of is India. They're not speaking about us Negroes. Negroes, y'all know. So he's playing in our face too. See, Dems play the game of, the people of color. They'll play in our face. That's why I have no respect for none of these folk. They'll play in our face and say people of color. And all the while, no, they're not talking about our people. He's talking about Indians. That's what they talking about. Negroes ain't even, they had a discussion about, they too busy trying to figure out if we finna cut up in the middle of the street about this reparations. That's their biggest thing. And it's boule like this that will talk us at the table, say, y'all, we don't need reparations. Negro, if you don't shut up talking to me 10 times over. So when they say people of color, y'all, Dems play the game too. A word game, word salad. They ain't talking about us. They talking about them. We always got to be the face and be the biggest problem. I get so sick of these boule niggas. I'm so out of it. Excuse my language. Y'all, they ain't helping our community at all, period. They ain't helping us at all. They care nothing about us. It was the same ones that fought against reparation in California. I'm still mad about that.
Whatever they want to achieve. Isn't this going to come down to that? And it could come to a head as early with Mike Johnson in the speaker's race. Certainly is going to come down to when we deal with H1B.
Well, yeah, it's going to come down to a lot of different issues. In fact, I think you're going to see this on issues of international trade, on the tariffs, on the spending cuts. You have a lot of you describe them as transactional. You know, many of the members of the business community and Wall Street are on board because they want certain regulatory changes, they want certain tax cuts, and they're telling themselves, well, Trump doesn't actually mean it, say, with the tariffs. Okay, so Ramaswamy and Musk are going to propose all kinds of draconian spending cuts, but that's not really going to go anywhere. Well, at some point, you are going to have a conflict because the true believers know that they have a limited amount of time to get their agenda through. It's probably going to become relevant at some point that Donald Trump is a lame duck. And so the power struggle is going to be very, very real. And for the true believers, they think that they may have a 2-year window to get everything done. The transactionalists, I think, are going to be surprised to find out that they bought into something that is somewhat different than perhaps they expected.
Y'all, what we're about to see in this world is going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see, because understand this. If if let's say the US goes into a civil war. Let's say we do. The impact, because everybody keeps saying Brex. What about Brex? What about Brex? Brex has not been, it's still in its infancy phase. It hasn't had enough momentum to be able to get enough push to be able to sustain the world. Because I realize that even though they have Brex, China still trades within the US. They still trade. Everybody's still interacting as far as the flow of the money is still flowing in and out as far as the US. That has not changed yet, y'all. So if they did have a civil war and the economy here collapses because of that, it's going to be a worldwide domino effect. Because the cash cow is gone. This is why in the Bible it says that the merchants are going to be crying because great Babylon has fallen. These merchants are not within the U.S. These merchants are symbolizes all of the major leaders throughout the world that fed off of great Babylon. And Babylon is nothing but we call a cash cow. They're consistently maintaining these. Their U.S. is still sending aid to these countries. Don't get it twisted. They're still sending aid packages to all these countries. And that includes, I know everybody's talking about Africa, that includes Africa as well. They're still getting aid. That's why when Great Babylon falls, we're going to see the world go into an utter breakdown. An utter breakdown. What do you think all the concept and conversations about the Antichrist and all this, when it breaks down, it's going to break down. And this is why they're going to say they're going to be crying, because they're going to say, oh, Great Babylon. And it's going to be an economic collapse that's going to break it down. It's going to be an economic collapse that the U.S. is going. It's going to be a U.S. breakdown where it's going to impact Asia, India, Africa. Think about it. Offshore. If India is offshoring with these U.S. companies and they're making their bread and butters based on working for these countries based out of Microsoft, because guess what? Microsoft is going to build a brand new computer and they're going to get the equipment out of Africa to build a computer. And it's going to use India to design the inside of the computer of how it's going to work and function. And they're going to sell it to the U.S. market. They're not doing it to sell it to them. They're doing it because guess what? Because we're going to buy the computer. And think about it, if the main consumer, because we are high when it comes to the consumption rate, if the consumer is no longer able to consume, offshore ain't gonna be able to survive. What they gonna survive on? This is why I said if the economy breaks down here, it's gonna be a domino effect from a worldwide perspective. That's all I'm saying. If it's a civil war here, will turn into a world war in the entire. Because understand that the war that we're speaking of is going to be a worldwide event. It is a worldwide event. And guess what? They're going to be fighting over resources. And it is what it is. That's why if something happens, nowhere to hide. It's just going to be ugly from a world perspective. The key to it is having faith, get your mind right, and look to the Most High for understanding and what's going on. This famine is going to be worldwide. The chaos is going to be worldwide. The fall of the system is going to be worldwide. U.S. is going to be the reason that the system falls. But the world is still going to fall. And it's all to it. If Congo's leaders are making money due to the fact that they're getting the coltan out of Congo, where's this coltan going? It's going into these electric cars, into these cell phones. Who are the biggest consumers of all of this? The U.S. We buy the Teslas. We buy the cell phones. We buy. They create for the consumption to be consumed here in the U.S. Yep. So it's gonna be on and popping. It's gonna be on. I'm gonna have to go ahead and end in a little bit, y'all. But I got one more thing, and then once I get done, I gotta go see about my mom. She ain't finna take no 4-hour live. She finna come here in a minute and say something real loud and ask me a question. So here it is. Oh, I promised somebody I'll talk about the bad weather. I'll go into the bad weather real quick. Here it is. Here it is. That's the video I'm trying to get to. All right. I'm going to share.
MAGA world is at war with itself, thanks to a breaking point between multi-millionaire tech bros and Donald Trump's anti-immigrant loyalists. This week, Trump's pick for senior policy advisor on AI, an Indian-American venture capitalist, was hit with racist backlash. Then, MAGA loyalists erupted even more after DOGE co-chair Vivek Ramaswamy defended foreign-born workers in tech by blaming American culture for prioritizing bronze over brains. In summary, Axios explains, quote, the fight exposes one of the MAGA movement's deepest contradictions. It came to prominence chiefly via the white, less educated working class, but is now under the full control of billionaire technologists and industrialists, many of them immigrants.
Honey, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting.
So let me get this straight. So Vivek Ramaswamy, I mean, he just didn't write a tweet. He wrote a
screed. It was a screed.
Screed. I mean, it just went on, and he laid out basically, y'all white folks out here should have been focused on doing a little bit more Urkel than anything else.
Less Stefan.
And it's just, Simone, I'm tickled. I'm tickled by this. Who would have saw this coming?
Well, I mean, definitely not the folks that voted for Donald Trump and the American worker and centering American workers. Look, this is, my mother told me this is just some business that don't involve you. You don't need to step in it. So I've just been watching. Because this is what happens. To be very clear, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, weren't they foreign-born workers?
Yeah. They got here on a visa.
Elon Musk say he here because of one of them visas, and now I believe he's an actual American citizen. But let's just be very clear. There's nothing wrong with people who are not from this country coming here, making a better life, contributing to the American fabric. Okay, that's something I fundamentally believe in. America is a land of the free, home of the brave, all that good stuff that Elon Musk was tweeting about. However, please don't come for Americans. And I would like, let's be very clear, I would like white Americans to stand up. This is your calling card, honey. Where's your banner? Because they coming for you. They said y'all white and lazy. That's crazy.
Well,
that's
what
crazy.
I find is interesting.
Y'all would be coming for me.
Well,
I would never say that because that's insane.
That's the point. What you have happening here is the very thing that white folks have said about black people.
I'm sorry. I just want to know, Vivek was born in the U.S.
Y'all see the body language. When I saw this video, I said, oh, wee! Oh, girl in the middle, she ain't liking this. Y'all. Oh! Y'all had to pause it for a minute. Oh, y'all see that? Y'all see the body language? She mad. Y'all, woo! Yes, and the facial expressions. Oh, wee! Let me finish playing this.
What you have happening here is the very thing that white folks have said about black people.
I'm sorry. I just want to know, Vivek was born in the U.S.
For generations. Vivek is now saying about white people, and they don't like it for some reason. Oh, y'all not lazy. Y'all not slow. Y'all not stupid. Well, that's what we've been saying for 400 years. And yet, here we are. You still want to not read our history or go through our CRTs and all
This
this
is
stuff.
why the great Reverend Jesse Jackson talked about the Rainbow Coalition, honey, and people were uniting across
That's
the
right.
working class, okay? And black people and white folks and Latino folks coming together because the rich people, they're not here for you. And this is how they letting you know, okay? They just let you know. So you want to come on over to the Rainbow Coalition, you come join us, right?
Y'all want me to replay that? Y'all messy. Okay, I'm gonna replay it real quick. Oh, y'all, the expression on her face, I was like, y'all making her mad. Y'all making her mad. But, you know, as much as I have to filter out, eat the meat, spit out the bones, Jesse Jackson don't care nothing about Negroes. And the whole Rainbow Coalition, we still wasn't even remotely. They didn't care nothing about us. But when you really look at what they were saying, they was like, the way that Vivek is treating you all is the way y'all treated us. Oh my God. When I first saw this, y'all saw this a couple of days ago, I was laughing. I'm finna play it again. Let me share my screen.
This week, Trump's pick for senior policy advisor on AI. Lists, many of them immigrants.
Honey, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting.
So let me get this straight. So Vivek Ramaswamy, I mean, he just didn't write a tweet. He wrote a
Screed. It was a screed.
Screed. I mean, it just went on, and he laid out basically, y'all white folks out here should have been focused on doing a little bit more Urkel than anything else.
Less
Stefan. You know, and it's just, Simone, I'm tickled. I'm tickled by this. Who would have saw this coming?
Well, I mean, definitely not the folks that voted for Donald Trump and the American worker and centering American workers. Look, this is, you know, my mother told me this is just some business that don't involve you. You don't need to step in it. So I've just been watching. Because this is what happens. To be very clear, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, weren't they foreign-born workers?
Yeah. They got here on a visa.
Elon Musk say he here because of one of them visas, and now I believe he's an actual American citizen. But like, let's just be very clear. There's nothing wrong with people who are not from this country coming here, making a better life, contributing to the American fabric. Okay, that's something I fundamentally believe in. America is a land of the free, home of the brave, all that good stuff that Elon Musk was tweeting about. However, please don't come for Americans. And I would like, let's be very clear, I would like white Americans to stand up. This is your calling card, honey. Where's your banner? Because they coming for you. They said y'all white and lazy. That's crazy.
Well,
that's
what
crazy.
I
and
find is interesting,
y'all would be coming for me.
Well,
I would never say that because that's insane.
That's the point. What you have happening here is the very thing that white folks have said about black people.
I'm sorry. I just want to know, Vivek was born in the U.S.
For generations. Vivek is now saying about white people, and they don't like it for some reason. Oh, y'all not lazy. Y'all not slow. Y'all not stupid. Well, that's what we've been saying for 400 years. And yet, here we are. You still want to not read our history or go through our CRTs and all
This
this
is
stuff.
why the great Reverend Jesse Jackson talked about the Rainbow Coalition, honey, and people were uniting across
That's
the
right.
working class, okay? And black people and white folks and Latino folks coming together, because the rich people, they're not here for you. And this is how they let you know, okay? They just let you know. So you want to come on over to the Rainbow Coalition, you come join us, right?
Michael, I understand neither support. I've already established that neither care about us. Let's just be honest. Dems don't care about us just like the Republicans don't. But it's just so funny and ironic that this conversation transpired right here. And they called out a few key things. The very laziness y'all said that we were. They did roast her in front of her in her face. Black folks got to get it together. We have it's just no sense whatsoever. This woman, obviously, you could tell she did not like how this conversation was going. But he did say one good thing that makes sense. He said the very thing, see how the Most High work, the very thing y'all said about us being lazy, not pulling ourselves up from our bootstraps, they're saying about y'all. And white America can't take that like, oh my God, we're not that. But y'all said we were. And y'all cut us off from jobs and having access. And they're doing the same thing to y'all. Oh, this is so funny. I'm telling y'all this year, it's going to be a popcorn moment. I'm telling y'all, I got a feeling I'm going to have to be doing new lives. You know what? Look at it, y'all. I'm getting a new laptop because that old one was on its last leg. Because I know I'm going to have to do a lot of stuff here soon. Because it's finna go down. It's finna go down. Plain and simple. That expression, I'm laughing because I get text messages about this expression. That expression right there, they're feeling it. They're feeling it. Y'all brace yourselves. It's finna be a bumpy ride this year. Y'all gonna see me doing a lot more things like this. I'm gonna be less involved in other stuff. I'm gonna be really focused on this because this is the time that we sit down and we capture these events. This right here, Trump is finna set it off, and he ain't gonna stop. He ain't gonna stop. Oh, it's finna be on, because the thing is, white people in their head was thinking, let's make America great again. In their heads is white people going back to their jobs, making $275,000 a year, putting their foot on a nigga's neck so that they can be able to sustain themselves. But they going all the while telling them, giving them this pipe dream of, you can be able to be great, but yet and still they keep their foot on our neck. And that's what let's make America great again. Bring back our white jobs. There is no white jobs anymore. So I feel like this is going to be better than the super flu. This is going to be better than the super flu. I hope they hear me come on with this laptop. So I might do something tonight. I might do something tonight talking about the weather. Because the weather, I didn't mean to be this long talking about this, but I had to talk about it. And I've been kind of sitting on it and been saying, okay, I'm going to talk about it. Ain't had no laptop and don't want to get in my daughter's way of doing her work. So I've been pulling back. But now she's gone, having her hanging out with her friends. And when she does come back, I have my laptop, so I will be able to do stuff on my computer and not have to intrude on her. But it's going to go down. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. And we're going to feel it. These folks are going to fight in the street because they don't have the jobs and the money. One thing I will say about Black people, we may have been making $150,000 a year, but if we get in a pinch where we can't get these jobs, we will go take that low-end job and work 2 jobs to sustain ourselves. We never see ourselves too high and mighty to make sure our families eat. We'll cut back on going to the Essence Festival. We'll cut back on going to the game that they have on Thanksgiving in New Orleans. We'll cut back on going to LA to the big concerts. We'll cut back on going to New York to go do a shopping spree. We'll cut back because in our heads, we got to cut back because our families got to eat. I don't know what time I'm coming on. Y'all know me. I'll make sure and always schedule it an hour before so you can get the alert. But we gonna make sure our children eat. We ain't got to have the brand new. In fact, if the finance company say we come to pick the car up, guess what? Okay, cool. Let me go save up a little bit of money and go ahead and buy me a cash car so I can get back and forth. Black people don't have a problem about pulling back because we know we're following on hard times, because we know we're gonna be able to bounce back soon. That's fine. Let them go and do what they got to do. We'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and do that and keep it moving, because it's just how we function. That's how we operate. We're gonna figure out where we can pull down from to be able to get money so that we can be able to sustain ourselves. That's okay. All right. I might have to work in an office and work in the mail as a mail clerk for a little bit. I may have to work in the mail room. I may have been an IT director, but my family got to eat. I'm going to go ahead and take this job and do what I got to do. And that's the same thing, how we function. So, but they going to be still upset and whining. Like, I need my money. I want to go on my trips. When you've had access for so long, you don't know how to respond to not having access. And you'll sit and wait and wait and wait. And before you know it, the low-end jobs will be pretty much gone. Or we'll be willing to take the pay cut. We'll take the job and they'll say, you know what? You used to making $200,000 a year. This job only pays $100,000. What you gonna do? I'm gonna take the $100,000 and I'm gonna have a side gig. Sell plates out my back door. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna Uber on the side. I'm gonna do Uber Eats on the side. Oh, we gonna work and keep it moving. We got to figure it out. I'm going to bring in my cousin who's going to live with me. We're going to share the rent. We're going to share the car. We have to figure it out. That's how we think. That's how we think. Or I might just end up hey, look, I'm going to take this job. I'm used to making $200,000 a year. I'm going to take the job. It pays $95,000. I got to do what I got to do. That's our favorite phrase. I got to do what I got to do so my family can eat and have a roof. So it is what it is, y'all. It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how this play out. Maybe we'll go get make a pot of beans and some cornbread and everybody in the house will eat. Or we'll make a pot of beans. We'll make a pot of greens and some cornbread and be a whole meal. And that meal probably be 100% better than going somewhere and paying $100 for that meal. Well, I'm gonna go buy a whole chicken rather than chicken cut up, because what we know how to function. Like the whole chicken is cheaper than going to buy a pack of wings. I'm just chop up the pieces. You may not get a wing this time, but you'll get a leg this time. We're gonna chop this chicken up. We're gonna bake it, or we're gonna fry it. We're gonna saute it. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna survive until we can get past this. And that's how we look at it. Let's weather the storm. Let's weather this storm. That's our attitude. Let's just get through it. We're going to get through it. We're going to, baby, rice is the best stretch meal in the world. You can have rice, add some beans to it. If you can afford some meat, you add a little meat to it. If you got a bag of beans, I'm gonna soak those beans, and that ham bone that I have. I ain't gonna say ham because we ain't eating ham. That turkey bone I got, and I'm gonna keep it in the freezer, and I'm gonna take that turkey bone out that freezer and then drop it in them beans, and them beans will be on point. We know how to survive. We might be upset for a little bit. We might be frustrated, but that it is what it is. I ain't mean ham bone, I meant turkey bone. They gonna be like, sister, eat turkey. I mean ham. Like, shut up. I mean ham, turkey bone. I'm messing with y'all. But yeah. But what? This it right here. Campbell mushroom soup over rice? Somebody said gassy but full. You right about that. So, well, y'all, I'm getting ready to head out. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. This was a good 2-hour conversation. Good 2-hour conversation. I have enjoyed it. We got more to come. I got to just, reason I can't really put a time on when I'm going to go live because I don't know when they're going to drop off this laptop. So when they drop it off, I'll probably unbox it. You know, you got to set it up and all that. I got to install StreamYard. I got to install CapCut. I got to install, log into my Canva account, all that, and get all my stuff together. So, but you got to find all my stuff. So I got a lot of stuff I got to find. So, if you've missed it, I know Aerospike said he missed it. If you missed it, just go back. It's on the playbacks. But yeah, I've enjoyed it, y'all. I'm getting ready to go. And I'm getting ready to finish up on my day. My mama in that room quiet. That means she's ready for me to come in there and talk to her. So y'all, thank y'all so much for supporting me. Y'all have a good one. Love you.
All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we're going deep. Love Talk Sister E. God's work